What is shaking? Happy Monday to you. For those of you that are working, 4-day work week. I like it. I like it. Doesn't really apply to me anymore, but I appreciate there's a lot of you out there that are looking forward to your 3-day weekend, July 4th, falling on a Friday. It's good stuff. I'm just going to go burgers, hang out with the fam, watch some baseball. Got baseball all day long, which is nice. Lou is pumped up for the baseball. We're going to get to NBA free agency today, talk a little bit about Malik Beasley. I'll touch on the trade between the Dolphins and the Steelers. I don't really have a lot to add to it. I always wonder about guys that are as good as Jalen Ramsey. They keep bouncing from team to team. And I thought Minkah Fitzpatrick was kind of like, one of the rocks of the Steelers. Like he just seemed like one of those type guys. So I don't know. Jonnu Smith had a great year last year for the Dolphins. So I don't. And we'll get into it a little bit. Thanks, Luke. Can you get down a little bit? I mean, I know people don't need to see me that much, but just a little bit would be nice. By the way, I'm inside today, as you can tell. And a lot of times when I'm outside, we get the animals rolling around, get Lou rolling around, the cats and the bunny. I love the bunny. Bunny's part of the family. But we don't let the bunny inside unattended. Like bunny has to be watched. Kitties roll around, do their thing. Lou rolls around, does her thing. Bunny cannot be trusted to roll around and just do her thing. And it's not that she'll drop pellets here and there. Those are easy to pick up. It's not that big a deal picking up the pellets. The problem with leaving Bunny unattended is you come in the room to do your show and you turn on the lights. You have a light on the right side, a light on the left side, and those lights are plugged in. So I went to turn on the lights. One of the lights worked. One of the lights didn't. And I couldn't figure out what's going on with the light. That's what's going on with the light. Bunny decided that would be a fun wire to chew. So now we're down to one light until we get a replacement cord for said light. So that is why you don't leave the bunny unattended in the house. The bunny loves wires, and I didn't know this. Come on, it's not even close to 2:00. Well, I mean, I guess it's kind of close in her mind, but anybody that joins the show knows 2:00 is Lou's time. And if it's 2, Lou's like, let's go. I don't care about your stupid podcast. I don't really care what's going on. It's 2, let's go. And now she's starting to I gotta get her checked for a tapeworm. She's eating. Like she's crushing food right now. And I even got her some pumpkin because pumpkin low calories and they like pumpkin easy on the stomach. So but anyway, there you go. That's why the bunny doesn't get free reign in the house because okay, Lou, I'm gonna call the cops on you. This is coming close to a felony. It's what it feels like. But you know what? I'm gonna put you down. You're gonna be good? No, you're not gonna be good, are you? At all. All right, let's get to NBA free agency today. A lot of things have happened. Let's get to the bigger signings. We'll just get those out of the way, and then we'll talk about the Warriors. I know a lot of people are wondering with the DeAndre Ayton getting bought out from the Trailblazers, is that a fit for the Warriors? What kind of player is DeAndre Ayton? I'll tell you what type of player DeAndre Ayton is. Indiana Pacers are very happy that the Phoenix Suns matched their offer a few years ago and that they didn't sign him. And they still have Miles Turner on their team and not DeAndre Ayton. But some of the bigger signings so far, the T-Wolves signed Julius Randle, 3 for $100. James Harden went back to the Clips, 2 for $81.5. LeBron, of course, exercised his player option, 52.6. Jabari Smith Jr. Is staying with the Houston Rockets, 5 for 122. Naz Reid going to stay with Minnesota, 5 for 125. Fred VanVleet going to stay with the Rockets, 2 for 50. And then Kyrie re-signed with the Mavs, or is going to, reportedly 3 for 119. So those are some of the bigger signings so far in free agency. Still got a lot of free agency to go, so we'll kind of see where it all shakes out. I mean, we've had trades. We've had Drew Holiday getting traded, Kristaps Porzingis getting traded. Who else got traded? CJ McCollum got traded, and so for Jordan Poole, of course. And we'll see. What happens with Kuminga. The Kuminga thing's weird because they can't trade him for the full amount he signs for until the trade deadline. Don't ask me why. It's just that's the way it is. I don't get a lot of the NBA rules and regulations. It's bizarre. You can trade a guy now, you can't trade him then. You can only trade him for half his salary now. And by that I mean if he signs for, let's say, $30 million a year, you can only use 15 towards a trade, which doesn't do you any good because you're not getting the quality of player you would want back for someone like Kuminga. So we'll get to him, and we'll get to the Warriors, because I was looking through, some of because the Warriors need centers. They need size, and they need some wing. They need shooting, because they got two guys who are going to play a lot of minutes who aren't shooters. Butler is not a shooter. Draymond's not a shooter. Although Draymond shot pretty good last year, especially at the beginning of the year. I wouldn't categorize him as a guy that stretches the floor, though. And Butler most certainly isn't. So, look, the more shooting you can have in the NBA, the better. That's what teams want. They want shooting, unless you're going to be super dominant defensively, like OKC. I was looking up the best individual defensive ratings when I was looking up some of the free agents. OKC had the top 4 individual defensive ratings for players. I think it was Hardenstein, Shea, Jalen Williams, and Cason Wallace, I think, was up there. And I'm surprised Chet wasn't up there, but now that I think about it, Chet probably didn't qualify because of all the games he missed. Like, they are just absolutely dominant on the defensive end. Like, they don't shoot it that well. They're okay shooting the ball from beyond the arc. They don't like have a guy you look at and say, oh, that guy, if he gets open, he can flat out stripe it. Maybe Isaiah Joe is that guy, but he got played off the court. He didn't hardly play in the playoffs because of his defensive liability and the fact that he's just a shooter. He doesn't really create shots and a lot of the things the other guys do on the team, but he can shoot it. You leave him open, he can flat shoot it, but he didn't play a lot during a lot of the playoffs this year. So defensively, you got to be really good, or you better be able to shoot the ball. Now, ideally, you'd like to have both, like the Celtics had. And again, the Celtics are not a great shooting team. When they won their championship, they weren't like incredible in terms of like individual shooters, but you put it all together and they shot, they're probably top 10 in percentage, but they just out volume you. And OKC didn't really out volume you this year. I could look it up, but I don't think they were in the top 5 or so in terms of attempts from 3-point land this year. Of course, everybody shoots 35 plus threes this year. I think Boston was up around 50 threes this year, but that's what teams are going for. They're going for teams that have switchability on defense, can all handle, can all shoot. That's the name of the game nowadays. It's you want to have guys who can switch on defense and then space the court on offense. And they don't all have to be creators. If you have a couple guys who are creators, they can really break the defense down, because all you need to do is break the defense down once. You break the defense down once, you collapse it, you pitch it, you collapse it, you pitch it. I mean, then you get the defense on a string, and that's really where the game's at. It usually starts with a high pick and roll. It's high pick and roll into different types of action, but the game is a high pick and roll league. So you better know how to defend the high pick and roll, and you better have the personnel to defend the high pick and roll. What's the easiest way to do it? Being able to switch. Set the pick, switch, set the pick, switch, set the pick, switch. You just switch everything. So you're hoping at some point, if you can break down the defense, you can negate that by getting the defense to rotate. Once you put them in rotation, then you have the advantage. But if you can keep the ball in front of you, like OKC was great this year keeping the ball in front of them. It was hard to get to the paint against OKC. And if you can't get to the paint against a team with that type of length, then you're going to take challenge jump shots, and you better hit a lot of them. And look, the Pacers were the best this year in the league, in the playoffs at 3-point shooting percentage. I think they shot damn near 40% as a team from three and weren't shy about shooting them. So they didn't just chuck them. They took good shots and they made them. So that's how you stay in the game nowadays. And that's how you win games is 3-point shooting, unless you have a dominant aspect to your game like OKC did. OKC's defense was dominant. Now, to shift to the Warriors, their defense was much better once Jimmy Butler came over. They were in the top 5 in defensive efficiency, maybe even top 3 in defensive efficiency. And you have a guy like Steph, and, Butler can take over too, but Steph's the guy. Steph's still the engine. He's still that guy. He's still good enough, even at 37. I think he might be 38 next year, to win games for you. At least he was this year. We'll see if he is next year. I don't know. I mean, I keep thinking Steph's going to slow down a little bit. And then I watch LeBron at 41. I'm thinking maybe Steph's got 2 more really good years to where he can lead a team to a championship if you put the right pieces around him. But so what do they need? They need wing shooting, and they need size. What Steve really would like is to have some basketball players, guys that just understand the game, get the game, compete, and are just smart basketball players. Like the top of the food chain, if you're wondering like what that means, watch Jimmy Butler, watch Draymond Green. Those guys understand basketball. They understand how to play basketball. They don't need plays to go out there and play in a game. You can just give them a ball and they'll figure it out. They'll figure it out offensively. They'll figure it out defensively. May take them a couple of trips on the defensive end to figure out what the other team's trying to do, who their best players are, what their offense is. But once they figure it out, like it'll click in like, okay, what's the best way to go about stopping this? Like they can think the game as well as anybody. That's really what he wants. And that's what you want coming off the bench. Unless you have a guy who is a dominant, like let's say shooter or dominant defender, dominant rebounder. And even rebounding isn't what it once was. But if you can get a dominant defender, a dominant rim protector, a great shooter, you can use those guys off the bench. But for the guys that are going to play a healthy amount of minutes, you want guys who understand the game that can play. Now, there's not that many of those guys in the game. That's what made the Warriors 14-15, and that was incredible. I mean, you had 3 guys. You could put 3 guys on the court at one time that really thought the game. Bogut, Andre, and Draymond. Like, they really thought the game, and they knew the game inside and out, understood it, and then Sean Livingston was incredible as well. So you have those type of guys, and then you add them to Steph and Clay, who are just, Hall of Fame dudes. One guy is one of the best ever, and Clay's first ballot Hall of Famer. And at the time, he may have been come on. I'm on a roll here, and you're killing me. You really are. Are you coming up or not? Come on. Get up there. Golly. I mean, you get boundaries. I know after 9 years, she has no boundaries, and I could be on a roll. It doesn't matter if I'm on a roll. She is gonna she's gonna jump up on my lap regardless of what I have to say. So you have those type of guys, and you're like your all-stars, your superstars, your Hall of Famers, like they could be big time thinkers too. I'm not saying they can't. They don't have to be though. Like you want to allow them the freedom to go do what they're gonna do. Clay was one of the best, if not the best, 2-way guard in the league at the time, and Steph is Steph. I don't need to say anything else about Steph. Steph's going to do what Steph does. And sometimes Steph does stuff to make you go, oh my God, what are you doing? And then he says, oh my God, look what he just did. That's amazing. No one else in the league can do that. No one else. So you have to allow players like that the creativity, the freedom to kind of do what they do, because that's what makes them who they are. So, they're not always going to make the best decisions and the smartest decisions, but that's okay. You have guys around them for that. And that's what Butler's there for. And that's what Draymond is there for. And you know what? Pajemski's that guy too. Pajemski thinks the game. He understands the game. Like, he gets it. You watch the way he plays. He knows how to play basketball. So ideally, that's the type of guy you would like to get. But again, there's not a ton of those guys that are available. So if you're the Warriors center, wing. Everybody needs wings, right? Everybody needs wings. You got to have wings. You got to have size now too. So I wanted to go through some of the centers that just kind of jumped out at me. And one forward that jumped out at me, who's a restricted free agent that I thought he might look decent in a Warrior uniform. You're going to have to lay down. You understand? Explain yourself to everybody. You want to explain yourself to, this is like, you know what I'm going to start doing? If I come in here to do the show, at least when I'm outside, I can just kind of shoo her away. I have her in here, and she's just like, she's all over me. I'm serious. It's like assault. Stop. Okay. So I went through the list of centers, and what I did was I wrote them down here. And I wanted to kind of just see what I think and see what you guys think of all these names. Let's start off with Ayton. He got released by the Blazers, so he's going to be a free agent. And I mentioned him earlier. Like, you don't think the Indiana Pacers are happy that Phoenix didn't match their offer? Do you think they would have been in the finals last year if they had DeAndre Ayton on their team? Here's the thing about DeAndre Ayton. And look, it kills me to say this because he's a Bear Downer. Like, he's one of my Arizona guys. And I love watching those guys perform well, play well. I root for him. And so I'm glad he's had a nice career. And God, okay, that's enough. We're going to have to put her out in a minute. I love Lou and everything. I know you guys love Lou, but Lou's out of control right now. So, and then she's going to start barking on me. So, yeah, let me let the cat in too. No, okay, hold on a second before I get to Aiden. There, we tricked her. She thinks she's eating right now. She's not eating. It's not even 2. It's 1:30. Settle down. If I let her back in, she just would not leave me alone. So, and look, we all love Lou. And Lou will be back. Lou's punishments are very minimal. But here's the thing about Ayton. He always plays smaller than a 7'1" guy should. Like, I don't get it. Like, he's got the body of a damn Greek statue. Like, he's ripped, he's shredded, he can run, he can shoot, he's super skilled. Averages double-digit rebounds, can get you 17, 18 points. He only averaged 14 and a half last year, but he regularly shoots around 60% for the year, so he's really efficient. It can shoot it out to 17, 18. The problem with him is, again, he always seems to play smaller than a 7'1" guy should play. Like, he doesn't block shots. I think his career high in shot blocks for a season's 1.5. I think last year was like 0.7. Like, he doesn't block any shots, and he gives you nothing from three. Nothing. He doesn't stretch the court for you at all. Now, the one thing he will do, he'll run. He's a runner, and he can score. I don't know that they need a big time scorer. Like, I'll tell you what, the center that around the league would get way more interest than DeAndre Ayton, and DeAndre Ayton's way more skilled, is Walker Kessler. Like, Walker Kessler does not have the skills that DeAndre Ayton does. Walker Kessler, the center for the Jazz, and by the way, he's not a free agent. He's a guy, rim runs, pick and roll, throw the lob to. The shooting range is minimal. And he protects the rim. He's a big-time rim protector guy. Really good defender. Like, he plays big. He's a big guy. And think about this. They're buying out Ayton. They have Klingon, the other center they drafted last year from UConn. He's not as skilled as Ayton. Ayton's more skilled. You put them in a gym together, I mean, he can't shoot like Ayton. He can't handle like Ayton. He can't run like Ayton. But he's a center. He's physical. He sets good picks. He gets to the glass, blocks shots. That's not who Ayton is. So I'm not an Ayton guy. I don't think Ayton fits here. I don't know what he'll cost. I don't know. But there are other guys on the list that I would much rather prefer than DeAndre Ayton. Because again, I don't like guys that play smaller than they are. Like, he almost plays like a wing player who's a center. Because he's skilled like a wing player. Again, great touch. You watch him work out, you'd be like, oh my God, this guy's incredible. Look what this guy can do. It's 7-1. And then they play, and it's like, well, it's like I have a 7-1 wing player. Beautiful. So I would be out on Ayton. Just not an Ayton guy. It kills me to say it, but I'm not. So DeAndre Ayton for me is a no. Is a no for me. The next guy I put on there, Chris Boucher, the backup center basically for the Raptors, has been so for a while. He's okay. Length. Not going to cost you a bunch. Not a great three-point shooter. Although don't tell the Warriors that. I want to say last year he hit like 5 against them up in Toronto, 4 or 5. Like, he just killed them. He shot 36% last year from 3. That was one of his better years from 3. The 3 or 4 years before that wasn't good. It was in the low 30s. So, low cost option, but I think they're looking for more than that. So, Clint Capella, he's a guy now, no range. And the no range thing's a problem. Because if you're playing that guy with Draymond and Jimmy Butler, then you're really kind of condensing the court. And it's hard to get to the key. They can really concentrate on Steph. You don't have any other options out there. I mean, let's say it's Capella, Draymond, Butler, Podziemski, and Steph. Then, hopefully Podziemski will pick up where he left off in the second half of the season, shooting threes. Not in the playoffs. He didn't have it in the playoffs. He just went cold. But second half of the season, when he came back from injury, he was nails from 3. So I would expect he will continue to grow. But that's why if you're going to have Butler and Draymond out there, you'd like to have a center. If you're going to play him with a center. Now, Draymond will play some center. And you do have Quentin Post. So how much Post is going to be involved? I would imagine they'd likely expand his role next year. Certainly would like to. The way he shot the ball when he first was introduced to the Warrior fans. That's what he is. He's stretch 5, period. He doesn't do a whole lot else. Not a defensive deterrent, much of one anyway, that I saw last year. Not really a runner. Doesn't really do much other than shoot the 3. Can't really finish around the rim, but he's young. So let's see what he looks like next year and see if he's added a little something to his game. But he can stretch the court, and the Warriors do value that. Clint Capella can. Screen setter, roller, lob guy, can defend the rim, which is important because they do need some size to defend the rim. Al Horford, I think, is a really, really interesting one. Now I know Al Horford's got the Dick Clark disease. He's like I think Al Horford's like 52, if I'm not mistaken. But he still looks like he's 22 and he plays like he's about 30. So Al Horford would be a really solid pickup. I don't know how much you could expect out of him, but 20 minutes a game, 18 minutes a game, shoots the three, really defends, really smart, knows how to play. Like he's a guy that is a perfect fit. Other than the age, he's a perfect fit for the Warriors. Although age doesn't seem to be much of a barrier for the Warriors these days, with Steph being what, going to be 37, 38, Butler going to be like what, 37 next year, 36, 37, Draymond 36. So they're just like, hey, let's get some dudes that know how to play. We got a 2-year window. Draymond's got 2 more years. Steph's got 2 more years. Butler's got 2 more years. Steve's got 2 more years. So we'll see where they go after that. But I like Butler Horford being added in to the mix. I don't know. And again, I don't know any of these players, what their preference is, what they're going to be asking, what they'll be looking for in terms of money, in terms of years. All I'm talking about is style. And does that style fit what the Warriors like to do? Al Horford would fit what the Warriors like to do and would fit what the Warriors need. Brook Lopez, another guy, he's 37, fits right in. A defensive guy and a stretch guy. So solves the stretch problem for you. Rim protector. He can most certainly do that for the Warriors. Just, getting a little bit older. I didn't look at his numbers from last year. What are they? 13-5. Like he's never been a huge rebounder. But a couple years ago, he's one of the best defenders in the league. So I'd have to look at his defensive rating this year to see what it is. But he's a capable guy. Gets what teams are trying to do and can shoot it. What did he shoot? Can we blow that up at all? Good Lord, you're going to kill my eyes. What did he shoot from 3 last year? He played, his minutes went from like 32. That's a little concerning that the minutes go from 35 to 14. I'm trying to see what he shot from 3. Again, if we could blow it up just a little bit. There it is, 3-point. Yeah, 37. So, he's been 35, 37, 36, 37 for the last, 4 years. So, yeah, he's a reliable 3-point shooter, and he might be a guy that you look at. Again, defends the rim, shoots a 3. Defends the rim, shoots a 3. So that's kind of what you're looking at. You're not going to get everything you want because you're not going to be able to afford everything you want. It's just, that's the way it is. Like in Al Horford's case, you can't get youth. That ain't coming back. So you don't got to pay as much. The same thing with Brook Lopez. Like he's 37 years of age. So maybe the defense isn't going to be what it was 3 years ago. But how many minutes do you need, right? If Post is going to take up some of those minutes, if Draymond's going to take up some of those minutes, you're likely looking at maybe 15 to 20 minutes a game max. So you don't need a ton from these players. Mason Plumlee is a guy that I thought was interesting. Athlete, defends the rim, lob guy, pretty smart guy. Like I was impressed with his passing when I watched him play last year. Like he's got an idea of what's going on the court. He's a non-factor offensively. Does not look to shoot. Stretching the court, please. Stretching the court for him is shooting the ball outside the restricted area. So like a little 3-point jump shot would be stretching the court for him. He does not look to shoot, period. He can be at the rim and he kicks it back out for threes. Problem is, you're not going to have a whole bunch of guys that are capable of shooting threes. You look at that. I mean, he didn't shoot them at all. Field goal percentage is probably high because he doesn't shoot them. Yeah, 62, 56, 68, 73. Again, he just doesn't shoot. Go all the way to the right. How many points he averaged? Like 4. I mean, again, he has no interest in 4.5, 5.3. He did average 10.8 a couple years ago. So you're gonna have to make a choice. Maybe you don't get the guys you want. But that's what they need. Like the guys that jumped out to me, style that they would want. Horford and Lopez. Those are the guys. Combined, they're like Methuselah age. Like they're old. Like they got some wear and tear on them. But all these guys are somewhat old. Although Aiden's not terribly old. But again, I'm not with Aiden. I know some of you might be, but again, I can't get over the I can't get over the playing smaller than you are, and I can't get over the fact that Portland, who's in need of good players, just said goodbye. And yeah, we'll buy you out. So we're good. Let's move on. So those are the guys to me that make the most sense. The other guy I wrote down here who's a restricted free agent, Salty Adama. That's a guy. He can stretch the court a little bit. Got length, 6'10", not a center. This is just a wing player that I thought maybe they'd be interested in. Now I don't know what Memphis is looking to do with him. Again, not a great 3-point shooter. I think last year was in the 36th percentile. Not terrible. Averaged 10 points. Decent to good defensive player. He's okay. But, that's just something you look at. And again, he's a restricted free agent. So I'm not sure exactly which way they're going to go. You see right there, 36-8, 34-9, 35-3. So, the last 3 years, he's been okay. Nothing special from 3. Although 2 years ago, he averaged as many blocks as DeAndre Ayton. He had 0.9. You go figure, huh? I don't know if that says more about Santi Adama or DeAndre Ayton. Maybe it says a little bit about both of them. Not positive. So that's just a guy I thought I'd throw out there because I always thought he was kind of interesting. At length, can run the court a little bit. Now I haven't watched him play a ton. Not like I watch a lot of Memphis games, and the reason I bring that up is because last year when the Warriors traded for Jimmy Butler, I thought, man, that's okay. I mean, I thought the Warriors, didn't really want him. They wanted Durant. Butler didn't really want the Warriors. He wanted Phoenix. And it was like, I always thought it was like the guy and the girl at the bar at the end of the night. And they just kind of look at each other. They both go home together because, well, there's nobody else left at the bar. And then come to find out they really like each other. And then they end up having kids and family and everything. It's like, whoa, hey, this really worked out. I'm glad you were the last one left at the bar. Perfect. It worked out way better than I thought. And again, when you get a chance to watch Jimmy Butler every game, you get it. You understand it. You're like, okay, now I get why Jimmy Butler is as good, as people think Jimmy, because I see him now. I see him every single game, and I see how good he is, how smart he is, how much of a gamer he is, how competitive he is. And the only reason I bring that up because I haven't seen Adama every game, so I don't know. You literally have to watch somebody, and you guys are all fans. You get it, right? It doesn't matter what sport it is: football, baseball, basketball, hockey, whatever. You're like, oh, I can't wait to get that guy here. I want to get that guy. Let's trade for that guy. And then your team trades for that guy. You're like, oh, bitchin', this is sweet. We got this guy. And then you start watching every game. You're like, oh, fuck. Now I know why this guy was available. God, really? He can't hit a curveball. He's not a hustler. He's a bad base runner. Decent OPS, but that's all you see is the numbers and some highlights on your favorite highlight show. And then you get a chance to watch him every single day, and you're like, oh, damn. So again, sometimes you get the damn, sometimes you're like, damn. Jimmy Butler was a damn. He's better than I thought he was. So all these guys, I mean, take what I say with a little bit of a grain of salt because I didn't get a chance to watch them play every single day. A lot of them I've watched, quite a bit. So I know their games, like Al Horford. Everybody knows Al Horford's game. It's been around forever. I've seen enough Al Horford to let me know I know who Al Horford is. Another free agent center that would fit beautifully onto the Warriors is Miles Turner. Ain't happening. Miles Turner is either going to go back to Indy or he's going to get a big deal. Like, we got to stay grounded in reality here. If you're a Warrior fan, you can't say, hey, what about Miles Turner? Can we get Miles Turner for Gary Payton, Kevon Looney, and Quentin Post? Like, literally, those are the type of trades that people would suggest to me over the years of doing radio. They always thought giving a team more was good. Let's give him 6 guys for one. The 6 guys are crap, but let's give him 6. And it didn't work that way. You got to give up quality for quality. And they don't have anything that he fits perfect with the Pacers too. So I don't know what he's going to be looking for, but he's like, a 3-point shooter, a good defender, defends the rim. You look at his blocks right there. 2, 1.9, 2.3, 2.8, 3.4. Like, all those are better than DeAndre Ayton's best years. Like, all those. DeAndre Ayton was 1.5. Now, he's not a huge rebounder, and he's a little stiff sometimes, right, when he's moving side to side on the perimeter. But you get him near the rim, like, he's long and he can defend. So, like, that's just that ain't happening. Like, they're not getting that type of guy. And he's probably going to end up going back to the Pacers anyway. So we'll see what happens. I've seen that there's been conversations with the Bulls and the Heat regarding Kuminga. Again, I don't know how it's going to work, being that they can't trade him. And even if they sign and trade, my understanding is they're not going to get the full sign and trade benefit until trade deadline. But then they would sign him and trade him way later because of some weird, crazy CBA rule. So my guess is they'll sign him, and then if they want to trade him, they'll trade him trade deadline time. Now, he may just say, screw it. I'm going to go out, and I'm sure he will go out. Him and his representative will go out Monday. And if somebody wants to sign them to $35 million, they'll say, boom, we're good. And then what do the Warriors do? I mean, I guess you got to match. You can't just lose him for nothing because he is a commodity and you can get something in return for him. So you can't just let him walk. But I don't know. I'd be honest with you. I do not know how this is going to work out. And I don't know how the salary figures in with Kuminga. I would be shocked if he's on the team next year. Like, my guess would be he'll be off of it around trading deadline, but it could be before, depending on what type of offer that he gets. And I think it'll be best for both parties. Because if you read the Athletic piece, Anthony Slater wrote a nice piece. Basically, the gist of it was Kuminga wants to be a star. He thinks he's ready to be a star. He wants the ball in his hands. He wants the responsibility. He wants to be the man. And he's not going to be the man here. Not for 2 more years. And who knows if it'll end up being any longer than that. It could end up being 3 years, 4 years. Who knows? Just because Steph is signed for 2 more years doesn't mean he's only playing for 2 more years. Well, I thought LeBron would retire a few years ago. He's still kicking around and kicking ass. So Steph may as well. He may stick around. He may continue to play and continue to play really, really well. So I don't know that Kuminga wants to wait on that. I don't know that he wants to come off the bench and play his 25 minutes, 12 minutes, no minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is. I think he thinks he's ready. He thinks he's ready to be the guy. Is he? I don't know. I don't know. Like I that's the gist of the piece, though. So if you're a Warrior fan, do you think he could do that? I don't think he can be that guy. I think if he's going to be the face of your franchise, then you're not making the playoffs. And you may make the playoffs, but you're not competing for anything. Like, he needs to be a third or fourth guy. So I don't know where it ends up, but I think he thinks he's ready. Steve doesn't think he's ready. I know the ownership group would love to keep him. I know some other people in the organization think it may be best for him to move on. We'll see. We'll see how it works out. Like, there's some things he can add, and he does have traits that are valuable in the NBA. But does that make him a legit number one guy? In my opinion, no. So we'll see where that goes. What do the Warriors do with Looney? What do they do with Gary Payton? Who knows? Who knows? I don't know. But we'll continue to talk about it throughout the course of NBA free agency. And again, those are some center names to look at and see if maybe the Warriors sign one of those guys. Because I think they are going to have a chance next year. Like, they'll be in the mix next year. They'll be in the mix. Houston's going to be better next year. OKC is going to be fantastic again. Denver, depending on what they do with their bench. The Lakers, can they find? They're going to be looking for centers too. Now, the centers they're looking for probably differ from the center the Warriors are looking for. I think the Lakers are going to be looking for a role center, like a Capella would work with them. Maybe a Plumlee would work with them because they want a guy that can work with Luka. Now, they would like a young guy so he could grow with Luka and be there with Luka for like 4 or 5 years or so. But look, I mean, look, you get what you get. Big guys that are skilled, valuable, they're not easy to come by. So we'll see. But the Lakers, to me, Al Horford to be nice for them, not really much of a role guy. He's more of a space guy. So if I'm the Lakers, I want a guy like Lively. I want a guy like Gafford. I want a guy that sets screens and goes, and Luka can lob it up to him. Or because Luka's great at manipulating the center on that pick and roll. Set the pick, big guy rolls. He's on the opposite side, and he's just kind of in the middle there. As soon as the big guy makes a decision, comes forward, throw it over the top, backs up, shoots that little floater. And because Luka's so damn big, he's going to get anything he wants once he gets into the paint. So I think the centers they're looking at are probably different from the centers the Warriors are looking at. All right, I did want to get to the Malik Beasley piece. He's under investigation for gambling, and look, Terry Rozier was under investigation too, and nothing came of that. Right? Everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, Terry Rozier under investigation for gambling, prop bets." Nothing ever came of it. Not to say they won't come, nothing will come of it, but it hasn't. So Malik Beasley, apparently there was a game in 23-24 when he was playing for the Bucks, where I think they were playing the Trailblazers. There was a prop bet. It was 2.5 rebounds. So the over-under was 2.5. The over or the under 2.5 rebounds was plus 120, which means you bet 100. If you win, you win 120. So the line moved from 2.5 plus 120 to 2.5 minus 250, which is a sizable move. It's significant. It's going to take some money to move it. And for those of you that don't gamble, what it means is instead of betting 100 to 120, now you got to bet 250 to win 100. So the odds shifted considerably. Now, he got 6 rebounds. So all the bets lost. All the money was on under 2.5 rebounds, and Malik Beasley got 6 rebounds. So the bets lost, but the books aren't so much concerned, and I'm sure the government isn't so much concerned with wins or losses. They're like, why did the line move? Why did a prop bet line move? Now, this isn't Jonte Porter, right? Malik Beasley's a player. Porter's the kid for Toronto that got busted for fixing prop bets. He's not much of a player. Beasley is a player. And, oh, by the way, he was just about to sign, apparently, a 3-year, $42 million deal with the Pistons. That's been put on hold. Oops. So I don't know if he's involved. Let's wait and let this thing kind of play itself out. But these prop bets are brutal. Like, you might not bet on yourself, but you may tell your buddies, hey, I think I'll probably get over 2.5 rebounds, or I'm going to get under this, or I'm going to like, you got to be careful with who you talk to if you're the players. And I to be honest, I'm getting tired of everybody saying, well, look, the gambling, what do you expect? NBA and NFL and Major League Baseball, they're all in bed with DraftKings and FanDuel and all these books. So, of course, stuff like this is going to happen. Yeah, it's going to happen. Doesn't mean it should. Like, every player should be smart enough to realize there's a high probability you're going to get caught if you're betting on your own sport. That's all they ask you to do. Refrain from betting on your sport or any NBA property. So if you are an NBA player, you can't bet on the NBA. You can't bet on Summer League. You can't bet on the WNBA. Like, anything under the NBA umbrella, you can't bet on it. You got to bet baseball. Knock yourself out. You want to bet football? Knock yourself out. Football, same thing. Don't bet NFL football. Do not bet NFL football. I don't know how it relates to the UFL, but don't bet NFL football. You want to bet basketball? Fine. Baseball, same thing. Don't bet Major League Baseball. Don't bet minor league baseball, if there is such a thing. I'm sure there is. But don't bet anything else. It shouldn't be that hard to comprehend for these players. The prop bets are the ones that are most susceptible. The prop bets are the ones that are most susceptible to being rigged, because as an individual, I can affect that, right? I can't necessarily, if I'm the player of Malik Beasley's caliber, I may not be able to affect the over-under. I may not be able to affect the spread. Cade Cunningham's going to have more of a say in that than I am. Duran's going to have more of a say in that than I am. And like, he'll have some say. He's a pretty good player, and he was good for the Pistons last year. But you might not be able to affect it. To truly be able to rig that, you probably need a couple players to rig that. And these guys make so much money now. How are you going to entice them with enough money to fix an NBA game? Like, really? Are you going to have Jaylen Brown fix a Celtics game when he's already making $70 million, $60, $70 million a year? Like, how much would you have to pay a guy like that to put all that at risk? And even guys that are making $30 million. Like, so the player prop is one thing you can control. It's a lot more volatile. I'm sure the limits are a lot lower, and they start jumping around all over the place. And what players of all these sports need to realize, you're probably going to get caught. I mean, these guys are like, it's not just the IP address, and it's not just I'll sign it up under my mother's name. I'm going to use my buddy's account. Like, I'll get away with, like, they are going to find out. You know why they're going to find out? Because it's costing them money. And whenever an illegal endeavor costs someone money, they're going to find out. And the prop bets are the quickest ones. The Jonte Porter, boom, prop bet, got found out. Like, they're going to find out. If a prop bet's jumping, like, you can't bet as much on a prop bet as you could on a game and not have the line move. Like an NFL game, I mean, it could be hundreds of thousands of dollars that are bet where the line doesn't move because it's the NFL. And the market is such that it could handle that and it'll regulate itself where there's like millions and millions and millions of dollars on one game. So it's harder to move lines. And a lot of it depends on who's betting, of course. If it's somebody sharp that's betting, that may move a line on a much smaller bet. But all things being equal, they're going to let it move. Props, not so much because they realize somebody could know something that I don't about one individual player. Is he sick? Is he having marital issues? Is somebody in the hospital? Is he distracted? Is he got a sore toe? I don't know. But there are things that the book wouldn't necessarily know about a player that they probably would know about a team. Like how's the team feeling? How's it travel? Blah, 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 blah. And so it's easier to manipulate those prop bets, which is why they're probably, to me, it would be an easy fix. Just severely limit the totals on prop bets, right? The limits, bring them down to like $200, $300, maybe $500 on a prop bet. Don't let somebody bet 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 on a prop bet. Problem is people love betting prop bets. Love betting prop bets. So they don't want to take that away because the take on the prop bets, I don't know what their ROI is on a prop bet, but it's pretty high. So they want to offer these prop bets because they can make a lot of money on prop bets, but they can also be manipulated as well. So look, this isn't going to be the last you hear of somebody being investigated for gambling. It's just not. And gambling's been going on for a long, long, long time over in England and other countries over there where soccer's been going on a long time. How often do we hear? And they've had massive scandals in soccer. So there are going to be more. There'll be some in college. Someone's susceptible. Someone needs the money. Someone did something they shouldn't have, and someone crossed someone they shouldn't have, or somebody in the family is in trouble and they got the wrong people looking for them. And you're just like, hey, let me do this and I'll help you out. And so it'll happen. Or it just could be greedy. That could happen as well. So that's a possibility. And so, yeah, that's right. I sandbag at my Tahoe golf tournament. I cheat that way. No, I suck at golf is what I do. So that's how I get around. That's how I get around that. I don't cheat. I suck. So again, this won't be the last one. But don't convict this guy before he's convicted. Because when I first saw the Terry Rozier one, I'm like, oh God, that's rough. Terry Rozier, man. Terry Rozier is still playing. League hasn't even suspended him. League hasn't reprimanded him. What does that tell you? That something happened with one of his props, and it could be something they didn't even know about. Somebody found out something that they didn't give them willingly, found out through a third party or something. But the fact that the bet won or lost, all the people that moved the line lost their money. Not only did he go over 2.5 rebounds, he got 6 rebounds. He smashed it. So who knows? But it won't be the last time this happens. So let's wait and see how this kind of comes. Find out more information once they get done with the probe. I know the Terry Rozier one kind of went away a little bit. Like, oh, well, what happened to that? I don't know what happened to it. I'm not sure. And so, all right, let's take some comments. Again, I don't have much on the NFL trade. The only thing that came to mind was if Jalen Ramsey's so good, why does he keep switching teams? Like, why aren't these? Why didn't he stick with the Dolphins? Why didn't he stick with the Rams? Why didn't he stick with the Dolphins? Why are teams so happy to get rid of Jalen Ramsey? So I know Minkah Fitzpatrick, from everything I've read, just seems like stand-up guys, the guy kind of the backbone of your team that you want, and he gets to go back to the team that drafted him. So there you go, Minkah Fitzpatrick going back to the and they get Jonnu Smith. So I think told you that's why she was out. Somebody let her in, and now she's like saying it is. But she's right now. Now it is 2:00. Like, look, you go okay. You have reasons. I get it. I get it. You're hungry. So let's take some comments, and then we'll get on out of here and feed here, because she's like, come here, come on, look at her. Oh God, stop, stop, ah. Okay. Do I still have contact with Murphy Mac? Nah, look, I never talked to them when I was at KNBR, and I don't talk to them now. I like them both cool dudes. I just not in my sphere, so I don't really. I mean, of course, Polly's part of the Bay Area sports compatible. Why do I always forget the name? Why do I always forget the name? Oh my God. I'll have to look up the name. BASC. It's my own company. I can't even remember the name of the collective, Bay Area Sports Collective. They're going to kill me on that one. They'll be killing me. By the way, you can go to the site, the Bay Area Sports Collective, and check out all the stuff, all the shows that we're doing. We've added a few shows in case you haven't noticed. And so we'll tie all this thing together. So the Bay Area Sports Collective, and again, you can like, subscribe if you want, whatever. What are my thoughts on Mike Trout lately? He got a home run a couple nights ago, but is what it is. He's not the player he once was, and he's healthy. He's playing, so I'm happy for that. I'm happy to get a chance to see Mike Trout on the field playing. He looks like he's probably going to bat, 240-ish, hopefully. Probably have close to 30 home runs. Joe Adell, though. Joe Adell's been a revelation this year. Wow. I thought this guy's toast, but who's my all-time starting five at ASU? Like, who gives a shit? It's ASU. Why would I have an all-time starting five at ASU? If you want an all-time starting five at Arizona, I could probably cobble one of those together for you. But ASU? ASU? Like, why? I mean, you want me to go Byron Scott, Alton Lister, Kurt Nymphius, Fat Lever? I could, but it's ASU. A few weeks ago, you were pretty down on Joe Adell. I was. Like, I've been down on Joe Adell for like 3.5 years. And it's not his fault. He was like the number 2 ranked player in Major League Baseball, like prospects. I was like, oh God, the Angels got a dude in the minors. It's going to be incredible. And then he just never panned out. I was like, so disappointed. And now Joe Adell is like the best hitter on the team. He may be the best hitter in the league this month. Like, Joe Adell's on fire. 18, 19 home runs, raised his average like 30 points. Like, Joe Adell's been awesome. He's one of the biggest reasons they're only one game under 500. So Joe Adell's he's been really good. And you know what? I got to say, I know there's not a lot of Angel fans on here, but they're kind of fun to watch now. Because Adell's fun to watch, Neto's fun to watch, Shonowell's fun to watch. The rookie from Tennessee, Christian Moore, had a huge game a couple games ago. We had a tying home run in the 8th, one in the 10th with a home run, had a big hit yesterday, even though they lost. Now he's been fun to watch. So they actually have some young guys. You're like, hey, we got some young guys that are actually decent, that are fun to watch. It's not all about watching Mike Trout now. So, but yeah, trust me. If you would have said up to about 2 months ago, do you want to trade Joe Adell if you can get something back for him? I said, yeah, sure. Now I'm like, whoa, hold on a second. Let's pump the brakes on this. So a top 5 at U of A, I don't know. I mean, so many. I mean, Steve Kerr, he wouldn't be top 5 player, but for me, he would be. I mean, everybody's got to have a floor general. Gilbert, maybe. Arenas. Sean Elliott. Richard Jefferson. And I don't know. I mean, if I need a center, I go Brian Williams, Bison Dele, Sean Rooks. I mean, Aiden was really good in college, but no. I'd have to think about that because they've had, I mean, how many guys have they had? Terry. I mean, if I'm doing a top 5, and let's just say I couldn't put Steve in there. I didn't put Steve in there as a top 5 guy. Mike Bibby'd be the point guard. I mean, Mike Bibby was fantastic. His 1 year there at Arizona. So Jason Terry could be on that team. Richard Jefferson, Gilbert Arenas, Luke Walton. Like they've had some great players. Both Stoudemire's. I mean, it's I could keep going, and it's impressive. Like the players they had when Lute was there, and I mean Aaron Gordon could be one of those guys. TJ McConnell would definitely be on my team. I love TJ McConnell. And so they've had some players there, there's no doubt. Let's see. The Kings screwed. I saw what you did there. Fox, what can they do to fix? They need a point guard. I don't know. It just seems like when the Kings like have things figured out, you're like, hey, the Kings are actually what are they doing? Again, you look at the team last year and you're like, oh, that's not bad. You're like, it just doesn't quite fit. It just doesn't quite fit what they're trying to do. Like you look at each individual piece, you're like, you like Malik Monk? Yeah, I do. You like Zach LaVine? Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, DeMar DeRozan? Oh, okay. Demonis Sabonis? Yeah, okay. Go. Keon Ellis? Yeah, I like him too. Keegan Murray? Yeah. All right, let's put it all together, see how that works. That tastes like shit. It's like having really good ingredients and putting it together, and it tastes like garbage. It's like just because you have good ingredients doesn't mean they go together. They might go together. They don't have to go together. And for whatever reason, it didn't go together last year for the Kings. What is my hope for the Kings? I don't know. I don't look at Vivek Ranadive and think, okay, he'll figure it out. I just don't. I'd like to think he will. I'd like to think they could find a coach, keep him. Because they deserve it. The fans are fantastic there. I've said I love the building. I love the open air. I don't know what end that is, east, west, north, south, not sure. But Golden One's just a really cool vibe to it. I like it. I like the little area that it's in with the restaurants and the walkway. It's cool. I like it. But I don't have any faith that they'll figure it out. And it's not like the West is getting easier. The West is getting tougher. So if you don't figure it out, you're going to fall behind and get stomped. What did I think of KJ? KJ is awesome. Former point guard for the Suns and the California Golden Bears. Kevin was really good. Really good. He got me with a dunk one time. Thought he was going up for a layup, and then he turned it over. And he got to about here. I was like, uh-oh. Bow. And just smashed it on me. That's probably why I was pushing him. Now, I think he did that when I was with the Warriors, actually. But now, Kevin Johnson, watching him and Timmy Hardaway go, head to head, the two of the best crossovers in the game. Like Kevin Johnson's crossover is good. It wasn't Timmy's. Timmy's still the best crossover I've ever seen. Like that was a legit crossover. I'm not talking about the Allen Iverson hold it out here for 3 seconds and then over here for 3 seconds. Like Timmy was a dribble. It was like pop, 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 pop. And Allen Iverson's, that was like, and I'm not saying, I'm not blaming. That's the way it was. That's how everybody used crossovers back then. They kind of held the ball, halved it, or even had their hand underneath a little bit. That's why they call carry nowadays. So, but no, I think Kevin Johnson was fantastic. I think it was a really, really good player. Cal, it was him and Chris Washington at the guards, and they were really they were good. Nuggets need some help. Who do you think it fit? That's a good question, Steve. I don't know. I mean, off the bench, they could use some shooting off the bench. And I'm trying to remember. Like, I lose track of these guys. What's the all the rosters and everything? Let me pop it up real quick here. Because no, I mean, I said when healthy, their starting 5 was as good as it got at the end of the year. Like they can compete with anybody because you have the big fella. So, and then Christian Braun was really good this year. Like that guy. Now that guy's a gamer. That guy's a stud. I'll take that guy on my team any day. Gordon, I love. Porter, Porter. If I could get something for Porter, I might think about moving him. A great shooter, and I think he's getting better too. Plays a little more defense now, rebounds a little bit now, but I don't know. There's just something. I mean, Jokic is Jokic. He's the best player in the world. Murray, I like, but Braun was really good. I thought Westbrook is okay. And I'm just looking at the last game that they played against the Thunder, and they got. Now, what game am I looking at? No, this is game 1 actually that they played against the Thunder. But Strother and Watson, that was your bench. I mean, please, like that. Come on. What are they going to do? Go with Jordan, Saric, Najee, Pickett, Tyson, Kankar? I mean, it was embarrassing. That bench was embarrassing. So I like Watson defensively. He's not a shooter. He gets hot occasionally, but they're not going to have Westbrook back. And he was actually pretty good for him last year, but they need depth. They need some guys that can come off the bench and give him 20 minutes and contribute, because it was embarrassing to have the best player in the world last year, and then you take him off the court and the team sucked. I shouldn't say it sucked, but at one point during the season, they had like one of the best offensive ratings of all time when Big Fella was on the court. You take him off the court, just him. One of the worst. Like that just shouldn't happen. Like it can't be, oh my God, Jokic is on the bench, we suck. Oh, Jokic's on the court, we're great. Oh, we suck. Oh, we're great. Oh, we suck. Like, there's got to be a middle ground there. I mean, you got to help him out somehow. So, and I said this before last year. You have one of the best players ever. Don't you want to maximize your window of winning championships? Who cares about the apron? First apron, second apron, third apron, ninth apron. Who gives a shit about the aprons? You spend the money. So I don't know who is out there, though. I didn't look at all the free agents. There's a ton of them. They have the dude Holmes. Excuse me, Holmes. Deron Holmes from, I think he went to Dayton, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I went to Dayton. Now, he's a big guy, 6'10", 230. I don't know. I don't remember him shooting a lot of threes in college. He might have. But that'll help. Like, that'll help the bench. A big guy with some length, run the court. And maybe he's a little bit of a shooter. I'm not sure. But we'll find out next year. But they got to have help. If they get help, they're right back in the mix. They're right back in the mix for a championship. Because, I mean, Jokic is the best player in the world. It's not close. It really isn't. I mean, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander won the MVP this year, and he should have, because the team was better, and wins and losses got to count for something. But there isn't one GM who would keep his job. If you ask them, who would you take? Fantasy draft, who's your first overall pick? If you don't take Jokic, you're fired. You're just fired. I'm sorry. You can't have your job if you wouldn't take Jokic number 1. You just can't. Stevie Wonder would take Jokic number 1. The Warriors get Horford. Do they still need a? Yeah, I wouldn't mind 2 bigs. If you're going to get an older guy, I mean, you have to. You can't count on older guys staying healthy the entire year. You just can't. So even if you get a guy like Horford, you get a Brook Lopez, you got to get some depth. You got to get some depth behind it. And so, but we'll see. We'll keep doing like free agent stuff as next week we'll be, get some guys signing and stuff like that and figure out where these guys are going to go. And as these teams fill in, Primus coming. Yeah, I'm not a huge Primus guy, I got to be honest. They're okay. I doubt I'll go see them. The next concert I'm going to see is at the end of July. Going to see Dropkick Murphys and Bad Religion. I'm really going to see Bad Religion because I've never seen Bad Religion. That's just a crying shame that I haven't seen Bad Religion. I have one of my favorite bands, and I haven't seen them. So they're coming to the Fox. So I'm gonna go over to the Fox and check out. And then Dropkick Murphys are cool. Like, that'll be a fun concert. But I'm really going to see the go see Bad Religion. So I'll be at the Fox. So if you're gonna go see Bad Religion and Dropkick Murphys, I'll be there. And you know what? Just because I'm a nice guy, which I am, I'll let you buy me a beer. How's that? All right, I'm gonna roll. I gotta go pick up my mama. My mama. Tell your mama. That reminds me. Your mama called tonight. There's about 2 people on here that can name that movie, and I know one of them. He just chimed in. So, but if you can name that movie, you're old and you got a good memory. Look at that big ugly alligator, Daddy. That reminds me, your mama called the nap. Or that reminds me, I had to call your mama to nap. Anyway, we'll be back on Wednesday. Probably no show Friday because everybody will be drinking and barbecuing, watching baseball, like I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend the day, get up in the morning, watch baseball, go out in the backyard, start the barbecue, come back in, watch baseball, cook the food, eat the food, and watch some baseball. What else do you do on 4th of July? Baseball, beer, burgers. The 3 B's right there, baby. All right, so we'll see you Wednesday. I think Frank Caliendo is going to join us on Wednesday. It's always a treat to talk to Frank. And Frank's incredible. So we'll talk to him about what he's been up to. Obviously, he'll be doing impressions because, well, that's what Frank does. And Frank will be funny because that's who Frank is. So Frank Caliendo, I believe, on Wednesday. And then Thursday, might do like a little short IG thing if you guys want. Or if anything breaks, maybe we'll do something on Thursday. But until Wednesday, everybody have a great day. Enjoy yourselves and talk to you on Wednesday. See ya.